guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We take on Crystal Palace tomorrow and we are back in action. It's the last part of the season. Arsenal have to win every single game until Man City and Liverpool drop points. There is no other job. We have one job, and that is to not really drop points, but win games until Liverpool and Manchester City drop points. But that's not going to be an easy job. Mikel Arteta knows that. So the question is, what is our best 11 as we get into this game? Thomas Partey is likely to be in the squad, but more likely not to play in this game. He's more likely to feature in that one against Nottingham Forest. That will be on the 30th of this month. We are also expecting another injury boost in Fabio Vieira and Gabriel Jesus. Both players did not play for Arsenal in our last game against Liverpool, where we lost 2-0 in the FA Cup. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. I want your thoughts there in the comment box below. Aaron Ramsdale has been one player that we have actually kind of overlooked. Is it time for us to recall Aaron Ramsdale? Is it time for us to call our best goalkeeper back in goal and try to get games, try to win games, try to get the vibe up? I just don't understand why we keep with a goalkeeper who is not actually shot stopping, but literally just allowing goals to get into the back of the net. So let me know in the comment box below. I do love David Raya, but this is my best starting 11 against Crystal Palace. So in goal, I'm going to go with Aaron Ramsdale. I think he's the better goalkeeper, and I was wrong about Ramsdale. We saw him in that FA Cup game against Liverpool, and what we saw was a player willing to fight for the team. What we saw was a player willing to keep us in the game, and he did keep us in the game for a couple of moments. Now, I know Mikel Arteta, as manager, he's going to try to do whatever he can to keep a consistent starting 11. That's actually very, very good. And I've said it before that if you want to win titles, if you want to be a good manager, then you've got to keep a consistent starting 11. But that consistent starting 11 must consist of your best starting players. So for me, Ramsdale right now, that was not an upgrade. Raya was not a massive upgrade, probably in some areas, especially at home. David Raya at the Emirates Stadium has been remarkable, but away from home, not the best goalkeeper, in the Premier League on the road. So probably Ramsdale for me is still our best goalkeeper. And when we think about selling and we think about cashing in on players, Ramsdale might be one to keep rather than to sell. So Ramsdale, I would love to see him in goal. I would love to keep him in the starting 11 until the end of the campaign. That might not happen in Mikel Arteta's lens, but I even don't care about that. Right, Gabriel Magalhaes right there at centre back. He's been a remarkable player for us this season, and the centre back pairing, I don't think I have anything I'm asking for from these guys, Gabriel and William Saliba. Now, I think we have over-relied on our centre-back partnership, and we have forgotten one or two things. One, they're still very young players that are going to make a lot of mistakes, and therefore, as manager, as Mikel Arteta, he's got to work on his He's got to work on his midfield. He's got to work on the way we score goals. He's got to work on the way we attack. Why? I think our defense has done enough, and they deserve a lot of credit. They're not going to be standing in for us every single time, right? We're not going to be winning games 1-0, 2-1, all the time. In some games you lose. In some games you'll score more games. You'll concede more goals than 2 or even 1. But what can you do? For me, the reverse is to make sure that our attack is stronger, to make sure that our midfield is stronger. Or Mikel thinks that the problem with Arsenal is strengthening the defense. Like, he wants to strengthen the defense. He wants a left back, he wants a right back, he wants a center back. Chill, bro. Calm down, chill. You have one of the best young talents, at center back in the whole world, in William Saliba. And you have a very underrated talent in Gabriel Magalhaes, who's actually doing very well. You have Tomiyasu, for me, who's one of the best, substitutes in the Premier League. Like, if you're thinking about fringe players, if you're thinking about players just there for squad depth, Tomiyasu is one of the best players there is. And you still want to buy another centre back? You still want to bring in another fullback? I understand we are going to challenge next season. It's going to be a hard season, and that is okay. But then he's got to know, and he's got to understand as manager, that the attack is lacking, that this defense is alright. It has conceded least number of goals in the Premier League. The difference between us and Liverpool is not the number of goals we are conceding, it's the number of goals we are scoring. So that centre-back partnership is okay for us whole season. I don't have a problem with those. And against Crystal Palace, that should be the team that starts. Now, at right back, Ben White has had an injury, but we presume, and I presume, definitely on this channel, that Ben White is actually okay. He has had some time to rest. I think that was is that a week and a half? So he's had some time to rest. He will come back better. He will come back stronger. He's a good player. He's a very, very good player. At times I really get angry with Ben White. At times, because he doesn't make those overlapping runs over soccer. At times he doesn't bring in the good crosses. But I really undermine and underrate the ability and the job this guy does at right back, even if he's a centre back. Even when he started out as centre back, the biggest part of his education has been at centre back. I underrate it. I purely underrate it, right? I purely underrate it. So it is something that I need to look into more. But Ben White at right back against Crystal Palace, that's a no-brainer. Now, starting in at left back, Alexander Zinchenko definitely not there. Jakub Kiwior is not my option. I don't want to lie about this. He's not my option. So this is what I think. I don't know what you think about this, guys, but how about if we played Jakub Kiwior at centre back, right, alongside William Saliba, because Kiwior is a centre back, and because he's a young player, he probably not very young, but he lacks that level concentration that Saliba has. So Kiwior and Saliba at centre back against an Hudson Edward would be okay. And then we try Gabriel Magalhaes. We try Gabriel Magalhaes at left back. I think it would work. I don't know. I've not seen it before, but I've seen him try to cover the wide areas as a player. I've seen him play there as a cover, right? Not him starting there, but playing there as a cover. Obviously, Kiwior is gonna be targeted. All clubs will target Jakub Kiwior. All clubs will know if you want to beat Arsenal, you've got to target one of their best players, and that is one of their weak links at left back, and that is Jakub Kiwior. So if I'm Mikel Arteta, what I would say, we play Gabriel at left back. He's more centre backy, right? Is more of a centre back, and therefore defensively he's going to give you that output. Kiwior is a very good player at centre back, so I really think he could do a better job together with Saliba rather than isolating him and trying to play him inverted. And for one last time, Mikel Arteta, please don't play an inverted role. Don't create an inverted role for Gabriel or Kiwior. They are not that. They don't do that. I think Mikel has got to understand this, that there's some players that are going to give you that level of quality, inverted, what, but then there's some players that are actually not going to too. There's some players that aren't going to give you the inverted quality. And then he's just got to understand that and move on with life. Okay, so in midfield, Thomas Partey is making his return, but we don't expect him to be as early as this game. So Declan Rice definitely is going to be in contention to start, but I would love to see this boy, Jorginho. Against Liverpool, what we saw was mesmerizing. And what we saw, and what Jorginho highlights, is the importance of Thomas Partey in this Arsenal team, the irreplaceable role of Thomas Partey. And one of those few, hypocrites who have said, "Tell Thomas Partey, let's get some good money." There are not so many people that can give us what Thomas Partey gives us. Cossy, understand that. Now I do. But what Jorginho actually allows Arsenal to do is to progress the ball quicker, but also to progress the ball in a little bit of a smoother way, if that's the terminology I'm going to use. I don't know if it makes a lot of sense. I think he's a smoother ball progressor as compared to all the lads we have at the team. He's absolutely beautiful on the ball. And what that actually does, and what that creates when he's in possession, is the ability for us to use our wingers quickly before they're occupied by the opposition defenders. So I would love to see Jorginho. I think he's a player that works well in tighter spaces as compared to Declan Rice. And even though I think Declan Rice should be starting this game, and therefore I'm going to go Declan Rice, left number 8. It is high time Mikel Arteta decides who's going to be playing there. We cannot have the same problem for a whole season like we have a problem. And the problem is Mikel Arteta. And Mikel Arteta's left number 8. He's got to find one player. He's got to find one person he uses there. And I think Kai Havertz has been great when, not really great, but he's been okay when he's played there. But I think Declan Rice could give us something more. He's a defender, so that means that we get the Grand Xhaka part of it. But then he's got that ability to dribble, so we get something that Xhaka doesn't do. Then he's got that ability to, for an eye for goal. We get something that we got from Xhaka last campaign. Why don't we try Declan Rice there? And if it doesn't work out, you're the manager. No one's gonna blame you. We move on. If it works out, Declan Rice, left number 8, and don't worry, Kai Havertz is going to be playing in this game as well. So what I would love to see is obviously, I think this is a nailed-on position. Martin Odegaard really playing very well there. He needs more support. He needs to be, playing in a much better system. But for now, we have nothing to do, Martin. That is the midfield. Now, that midfield is good enough to overpower Crystal Palace's midfield, which has Eberechi Eze, the likes of Lama, and Decore, right? Crystal Palace, one thing they have, and you'll see this, they have these kind of powerhouses in midfield. So look at Eberechi Eze, he's kind of a powerhouse. You look at Lema, powerhouse. You look at Cheick Decore, powerhouse. So when you play them, you've got to work. It's going to be 90 minutes of hard work as compared to 9 minutes of you doing absolutely nothing. And I kind of admire a lot Cheick Decore. I think if Arsenal are looking to replace Thomas Partey, maybe that is an angle, that's a direction we could look at. Yeah, right. Jefferson Lama, I'm not really sure he's a top level club, top level player, but we would see, right? We would see if one of the top boys actually moving for him. So that's my midfield against Crystal Palace. Rice, Jorginho, and Martin Odegaard. I'm happy to drop a couple of players up top. Right? At centre forward, let's start there. At centre forward is definitely Kai Havertz. So what we have seen with Kai is the facilitation he gives us up top is mad, like really, really crazy. And he gives the team a very good sense of direction up top. And he also offers us more in terms of options, because we can go long, we can play it over the top, we can do a couple of things. That's the truth. We can do a couple of things with Kai Havertz in the team. Vis-a-vis Gabriel Jesus, he is lagging as a computer when it comes to finishing. But how many times have we seen Gabriel Jesus just collapse? How many times has Edin Ketia collapsed in front of goal? Why don't we play Kai Havertz? Because it looks like he's our best number 9. He's our best striker. So why don't we play Kai every single game there until we work on his finishing, and we could have ourselves a very good, nice finisher. Kai Havertz up top in this game. Definitely. No questions there. Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli, right? Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli and Saka. Two positions, 3 players of maximum quality. I think at right wing, we are still going to go with Bukayo Saka, although I'm not happy, right? Although I'm not happy with him, I'm still going to go with him. And at left wing, I'm going to go with Jesus, because with Jesus, I think he's a player that can facilitate the team. He's a player that can facilitate us. I think Gabriel Martinelli right now needs a deep, long rest. He needs to be coming into the team to change games and impact games. That's what he's got to do, right? So I think Martinelli drops, Jesus starts, Saka starts, and Havertz starts, right? Let me know what you think about my midfield, and let me know what you think about my overall lineup as well. And I expect you right in the next one.